Dude, how sick could you possibly be? We gotta shoot the video. Everyone's really excited. They won. Come on.
No, I can't. I'm really sick.
Yeah, okay. What did the doctor say?
Oh, he said I have a condition where I'm afraid of sharp pointy objects, you maniac. When are you gonna be done with that joke?
And then,
Yes, please do.
what a great goal. Dude, crazy throwing waffles.
Who are you?
Optimus Prime.
The answer? Probably never. You have to excuse the mess in the background. I had to move around some stuff, but who cares because the Leafs win 4-2 over the New York Rangers. And for the first time this season, the Leafs beat an American opponent. And before I get into the Rangers game, here's how messed up the Canadian teams are right now. Toronto's 5th overall in the NHL. They're leading the Northeast Division, but they also lead all Canadian teams with 13 points in 9 games. Second among Canadian teams and 8th in the NHL with 12 points in 9 games. They just beat the Caps, the Edmonton Oilers. What? Third amongst the Canadian teams with 10 points in 10 games is the Vancouver Canucks. Just kidding, it's the Ottawa Senators. The Canucks are 4th with 9 in 10 games. Habs 5th. Flames 6th, and Jets 7th, all 3 of those teams in the bottom 5 in the whole NHL. That's either a sign that stuff's messed up in Canada right now, it's too early in the season, or both. Let's just admit, it's probably too early in the season. But in this one, Reimer is not back in time, so Jonas Gustafsson goes in net for the Leafs against Henrik Lundqvist. You know I defend Jonas Gustafsson, but one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is Henrik Lundqvist! How screwed could the Leafs be? Well, luckily, playing in front of Lundqvist were the Rangers. Doesn't start off great. Jonas Gustafsson lets in kind of a yucky one from Dan Girardi. His first of the season, go figure, and it's 1-0 Rangers. Now, this early in the season, you're gonna let in a lot of people's first goals of the season, but I don't know, it just seems to happen to the Leafs all the time. Was that a great goal for Gustafsson to let in? No, but they were outshot 16-10 in the first. Helping out your goalie, the Leafs are doing it wrong. Second period rolls around and the Leafs do it right. Just over a minute in, Matthew Lombardi streaks in on the left side and scores a very un-Henrik Lundqvist goal on Henrik Lundqvist. No marks for style, it's a goal, 1-1. And Lombardi's fast, and I'm always doing that nickname thing, but I'm struggling with him. I want to call him Matthew Lombardini, when really that's just taking one Italian name and replacing it with another that might be fictional. Either way, his second and first since the home opener. 11 seconds later, Mike Brown and Chris Newbury I don't know what's more impressive, how Mike Brown won this fight or how Chris Newbury kept getting up. Remember what I said about Colton Orr a few videos ago? If you're doing one of those stage fights and it's on the road, the only way you're doing your team a favor is if you win. You can't tie, you can't let the other guy get the best of you because all that does is jacks up not only the team but the fans. And that would have been pretty good at the Madison Square Morgue last night. It was silent. In this fight, wow. Brown's dummied a couple guys already this season. That's why he's the Honey Badger. And what's even scarier about that is he doesn't even have his Movember stash yet, and that's where he gets a lot of his power. And again, not a fan of the setup fights, but one of the biggest problems I have with those kind of fights is they never seem to change the tide of a game. Well, Leafs get outshot 16-10 in the first, they tie it up, there's this fight, and then they outshoot the Rangers 16-7 in the second. Now, something the Leafs have had problems with this season is starting the period off well. Well, in the second, Lombardi gets one just over a minute in. And in the third, just over 2 minutes in, Joffrey Lupul buries this one to give the Leafs the 2-1 lead. Now, we've been talking about the fantastic season Phil Kessel's been having so far, got an assist on that goal, still leads the league with 16 points. But that was Joffrey Lupul's 10th point in 9 games, making him one of 3 Leafs to be at a point-a-game pace or better. Phil Kessel, Joffrey Lupul, and Dion Phaneuf has 9 and 9. Just over 4 minutes later, Mike Komisarek feeds it up to Clark MacArthur. Hasn't had a great season so far. And there's something about watching him come down the wing where you know he's going to take the clapper. Clark MacArthur doesn't need to be fancy. Clark MacArthur's not here to impress you. He is here to defend his kingdom.
This is why I called in sick.
I will find you, dude. Shing! Pulls out Excalibur. It's 3-1 Leafs. Really getting down to pressure time. Just over 6 minutes left in the game. Mike Brown coming in. Not someone you'd expect to do a snipe. But Mike Brown doesn't care either. He doesn't care about what you think. He will steal food from a snake, let the snake bite him, kill the snake, start eating it, die from the venom, come back to life, and keep eating the snake. I've seen the Honey Badger video once or twice. There's a Brown Butte. He'll punch you in the face and on the scoreboard. 4-1 Leafs. Michael Del Zotto takes a shot. Tricky little tipper sneaks past Gustafsson, but that's as close as the Rangers would get. Gustafsson stopping 28 of 30 shots, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a good game. And Leafs fans' discomfort with Gustafsson, I get it. There's a reason they call Gustafsson the monster, and that's because at times he is both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at the same time. Dr. Jekyll, brilliant guy, mixing up chemicals and beakers and stuff, but sometimes he'll have a game or he'll let in a goal that just makes you go, Ben Scrivens, now! And if this Reimer injury keeps up, Scrivens might actually get his shot. But for the time being, if Gustafsson can keep this up, he will at least be an adequate replacement. He won like 8 straight straight games as a rookie 2 seasons ago. Our memories are really short in the city. A few quick things before I end. Did you notice I didn't mention Tim Connolly at all? He was okay. I'm not going to rag on him for his deficiencies in the game because he hasn't played in weeks. He played with 2 players that were scoring at over a point per game, and he didn't make them suck. And as long as they're winning, I'll take that for now. A forward I would like to mention, Tyler Bozak. Not getting a whole lot of love or attention from fans, and he's involved in so many trade rumors. Banged up for a couple games where the Leafs could have really used him. But he's got 5 assists in 7 games, and after an abysmal plus-minus last year, so far he's a +4. Yeah, he was on Kessel's line for the first few games, but give the guy some credit. He was one of the whipping boys last year, and whether he deserved it or not, he's performing now, so give him some credit. And another guy that probably deserves some credit, Mike Komisarek. He was fine, set up MacArthur, and he played almost 20 minutes. Not to mention a +2. And last but not the least stat about this game, every single Leaf played over 10 minutes. In fact, the Leaf that got the least amount of ice time was Mike Brown, 10 minutes and 40 seconds, and he scored a goal. Because there's no I in team, or Honey Badger. There's an I in Mike Brown, but there isn't in Honey Badger, and I feel like that should count. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please go to all the links below. Add me to Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and...
Did it take to come in?
I told you I was gonna get you!